Good morning, traders, and this is your Dax day trade setup for today. This daily gives you a great example of why you want to be trading with a trend when you're in such a strong uptrend. You can see we gapped down and we actually closed green. Okay, so we came down to a gap, buyers stepped in off the gap, and we closed up. Now, when you're in a solid uptrend like this, it takes time for anything to turn on the daily. And you can see here was an uptrend. Look how many days it took before we had the sell-off. And then buyers, look how many days it took for the buyers to step in and consolidate and accumulate, and then we moved up. Okay, so at this stage, we have a pretty solid move. We had consolidation, we had move, and now, as far as I'm concerned, I have a megaphone formation, which we haven't quite broken. There you go. So we do have a megaphone formation at the moment. I would anticipate a move to the upside. We are bouncing off the underside of the alligator. Big down, big up. Sorry, big up, big down, big up. Big confusion. So pretty much given us a bit of a green with a small tail. And that tail is pretty much off. No real area I can see it picked up, but there are a few tails here. There might be something to the left. Let's just double check. We're probably going to have to go back miles. So okay, so we do have some previous highs here that it's we're testing. Almost a breakout. So that's the previous breakout. Let's just put that level in. Right where price is now. Okay. So we've broken through the previous high, and now we've closed on it. Okay, we haven't tested it, so that could be a bit of a concern. Okay, so this gap to the upside is still open, as you can see. Let's put a level. There's the upside gap. This is looking like a retest of the alligator, though. That's if you look on the lower time frame. So this is very messy, though. And maybe what we want to see is another move to the downside, consolidate another pin bar like this. I mean, this was a proper wise man number one on the hour. And then you're looking to get into this trade at the upside. But I suppose this megaphone formation has not broken. So technically we're looking for, let's use this level, we're looking for a break above this fractal. And this fractal on the hour is our stop loss area. Okay, that looks like the most logical trade at the moment. And look at the half hour. We do have an additional fractal. There's the fractal there. Okay, now the break above this fractal here would validate the not the issue, but validate the Bill Williams test. Okay, so that's the trade I'd be looking at today. Is I'm looking for a break above 13,225. So 13,226. I'm looking for a break and a close on a 12-minute will be fine above that area. I'm either going to hop in there with a stop here, or if it's a massive break, wait for the first pullback and then get in. But your first target should be this gap area. So basically what I'm saying to you is you have a 31-point risk for a 36-point target. Okay, and then the most logical thing to happen after we hit this level would be the sellers drive it down to come and test this break. And so it's a diagonal break, and there'll be a horizontal break. So back in this area for another opportunity to get long. And that's kind of what I can see at the moment. And I don't think the 12 is going to give us a different view apart from this pin bar. But this pin bar here is also a wise man number one, just by the way. So it is a pin bar, and the diversions, if I draw from where we broke through here, So I draw a trend line along price, price is heading like this, and I draw a trend line along the teeth, it's going almost horizontal. So that's quite a good indication that you have buyers coming in. And it's off at 200 EMA as well. Okay, and you can see there's just a slightly different fractal level to the upside. This is not a fractal to downside. Let's not get too excited about that. That's still your downside fractal. So at the moment, 13221 or 13225, those are the two areas that we're looking for a break to the upside. Okay, so that's my view at the moment. If we do move to the downside, then whatever downside move happens, look at the higher time frames, I'll be looking for buyers to step back in. On one of these retests here, okay, so there's a breakout right here, so it would be interesting to see that retested and then move. I think there was a little gap here as well. Let's just double check that. And your 5-minute gaps are pretty important. Okay, there's one there that hasn't closed. And you can see there's another one there that hasn't closed. There's one there that hasn't closed. So these little gaps are always magnets as well. So don't be too surprised if you see price move down. But for me, it's just another opportunity to get long. Okay, so we're in a 50-50 area at the moment. The way that we're playing with the alligator right now on the 30 minutes on the hour. But we could see a bit of a pullback. I'd like to see a higher low and then price action indicating a move to the upside. Let's just check the ichimoku because if there's anything we're missing, we'll pick it up right here. And we'll start with a 12 quickly. Okay, so you can see the 12, if we just run through what happened yesterday, we gapped well below the cloud and Tekinson and Kijinson, and that's always a warning, so you don't want to be chasing shorts here. There you can see rallied up, and then you see the seller stepping in here under the cloud. I mean, that's pretty much a good indication that you need to be short with a stop above the cloud. And we drove it down. But you could see buyers stepping in here. Actually, buyers stepping in here would have been a worry for me already. And then this one would have really been a proper worry. Okay, and then you can see the cross there, Chiku span coming through price. Okay, we hit the cloud, sort of broke through the cloud, came back, tested the cloud, and now we're running along, and we're sort of sitting on Kijinson. Now, the big thing here that to understand is we've got a lot of support to the left. That's what the cloud is telling you. Okay, so breaks of these fractals to the upside gives you opportunity to be long, and your stop area, if you're trading ichimoku, would be below the cloud. Okay, so that's on the 12-minute. On the half hour, we've had a bullish cross. We have not got through price yet, but it's going to be pretty easy to get through price here, not much resistance there. And the cloud is pretty thin as well, so there is resistance, but not that strong. So the probability of us breaking up is fairly high, and we are in a bullish crossover. On the hour, we don't have a bullish crossover, but I often talk about a flat Kijinson and a rounding Tekinson. There it is. So normally what happens is just seeing carries on rounding and then gives us a cross. Okay, Chiku spans not through price yet, and that's still bearish. So everything's bearish, but there are warning bells. Okay, if you look at the 4-hour, pretty much bullish. We've bounced off Kijinson. We're now above Tekinson at the moment, so that is still bullish. This is bullish, and Kijinson, Chiku span is also bullish. So the last thing is daily, and the daily is everything is bullish. Okay, a little bit of a pullback at the moment, but the cloud is pointing up, Kijinson pointing up. So as I always say, you want these two to get closer together, and that basically means you could continue just sort of forming a range here, or even sort of gap down, close up, gap down, close up for another day or two, just while Kijinson catches up. Okay, so that's kind of my view at the moment. We're still looking for longs. Just not entirely convinced that there's some setups happening here. What we could really do is just watch that fractal there. So that's 13,225. And I think 30 minutes probably a good indication there. If I get a 30-minute close above that, that's the opportunity to be long, and your stop is below this fractal here. Okay, so basically what I'm doing is I'm trading a combination of Ichimoku and Bull Williams here. So Bull Williams will be the fractals. So a close above that fractal triggers a long, and my stop is below this fractal. And at the same time, from an Ichimoku perspective, I've got a crossover here, and I'm anticipating a break above that level, which would give me a break through the cloud, and then probably a bit of a pullback onto the cloud, and then maybe another move up. So that's kind of a view that I have at the moment. Okay, stop for this move is pretty much below 13,200. Okay, and then the last thing to understand is that we do have, this thing could come all the way down here and bounce off this area as well, which could also be another interesting area for a long. And that would kind of set up this inverse head and shoulders. Here's a shoulder, here's a head, and this could be a little shoulder or a bit of a deeper shoulder. Be that as it may, this is the breakout. And if that's the breakout, that is my target. And do this on the 3 hour. So that makes my target pretty much the previous high, maybe a bit above it, 13,308. And there is a bigger measured move here. Which takes us to 13,340. Okay. So anyway, that is my view for this morning. Hope it helps. But yeah, whatever you do, just be cautious. This is a little bit indecisive at the moment. And we are very much in a downward trend at the moment. That's a mini downward trend. So we obviously need a decent close above this. But with this here, this inside bar here, with confirmation, I think we have a second push to the upside. Probably not going to go much further than the previous high. But that is still a good 70-point trade. Okay, there we go. That's it for me today. Hope it helps, and I'll catch you later. Cheers for now.